Hi, Facebook world. This is Allison Jones coming to you for Carriage Trade Public Relations. I will be hosting this week's edition, or rather this month's edition of Open for Business. We will be going over the attached article talking all about Instagram stories and why they should be a part of your social media marketing plan for businesses. Um, so please post, say hi, and engage with me if you have any questions or if you just want me to delve a little deeper into any of the segments. We will just be heading right on into the article and going through some of the different points that they cover. We've got it drilled down to about 7 bite-sized pieces, on why Instagram stories are a really relevant part of social media and why they should be in your life, if you will. So please excuse me, I am not usually the person who hosts these, so I'm a little nervous. um, so, what are Instagram stories? I'm not sure if everyone's familiar with that platform, but Instagram stories are basically Instagram's version of Snapchat. So, they are a 24-hour live story, if you will. So, you can post things to your Instagram stories throughout the day in I think it goes up to like 30-second bites. Um, and you can post as many as you want, and it only lives on your Instagram page for 24 hours unless you decide to add it to your Instagram page's highlights. So you have that option of retaining that content if you want to, or it can just be a 24-hour life cycle. So that's pretty neat because that gives you a little bit of flexibility for some of that content. And again, please excuse my nervousness. So now that you know what Instagram stories are, why should you be using them versus, say, Snapchat? One reason that should kind of answer all of your questions in one statement, basically, is that Instagram stories are beating Snapchat. There are more daily Instagram story users than there are Snapchat every day. I believe the last statistic that they posted in this article is that there's upwards of 300 million daily active users using Instagram stories. So that's a massive audience. I mean, obviously, we're not talking that every business is going to be able to capture that large of a audience every time out, but it will behoove you, if you will, to capture at least a little bit of that market. So it also, the article also goes to talk about that more and more influencers are using Instagram stories versus Snapchat because of the flexibility that I mentioned with the 24-hour thing. And so that's also an interesting way that you can boost your brand and your business is by linking up with a influencer. But here, I won't jump ahead too much. I apologize. So, does everyone know what an influencer is? An influencer is someone who is on Instagram and has a high number of followers. So we're talking like upwards of 10 to 15,000 followers. So that is what in Instagram land is known as an influencer, just so that we're all on the same page. So as I briefly mentioned a little bit earlier, Instagram stories are awesome for storytelling. The reason for that is that you can make a story continuous by making it into those like 30-second bite-sized pieces, and then you can just link them together throughout the day. So you can show your customers or your hopeful customers what a day in the life of your business looks like. Even if you're not necessarily a visual brand, or you're not really selling something that is, or rather promoting something that is really easy to promote on social media, having that access to the storytelling ability of Instagram stories is awesome because you can talk about the different services and like walk through like a day in the life of one of your service techs, or talking about how your product and or service like has helped people change people's lives or make their lives easier, so on and so forth. Um, but what's also really nice about it is that people expect a lot less production, if you will, in a Instagram story versus say an Instagram post, because the stories are, most people understand that those are, a 24, they can only, if you want them to, they only have to live on your page for 24 hours. So more people are interested in getting additional content versus having a more polished content. They want to know what the real you is saying and what the real business is like, rather than just knowing what, um, you know, 3 hours of curation and posing looks like, if you will. Not that that's always a bad thing. But so that's also another definite bonus for Instagram stories. People are just really appreciate the humanity of it and the spontaneity. So that's another huge bonus for businesses, so that they don't have to spend as much time on the production of those posts. And hello to all of our viewers. And again, I apologize for my awkwardness of this, but I'm not usually on camera and I'm a lot nervous, so please excuse me. So another huge bonus and really awesome feature that Instagram Stories has, according to the article, is the ability to do live video, such as this. So you can incorporate live streams onto your Instagram story. So you can, for instance, do a couple like preamble posts or a couple like snippets talking about getting ready for events or getting ready for say a big sale, and then go live during the sale or during the event or during what have you, and then talk about like wrap up, and then do like story, then go back to doing stories for like the wrap up or anything like that. So you can do spontaneous like Q&A sessions or just saying hi to your followers and so on and so forth. And so what's nice about that, again, is if you don't want it to live on past those 24 hours, it doesn't have to. So for instance, after my bosses watch this video, they might not want it to live on, but here we are. So, there's plenty of statistics that show that many more users are interested and engaging with live video. I think the statistic for the article is 81% of all internet users are viewing more live video in current years versus past, like year over year. And so that Instagram Stories affords the ability to live stream to your followers and engage them in another way. The other thing that is very cool about Instagram Stories, it's our subject number 5, is that you can actually drive traffic and engagement with stories now. If your account has over 10,000 followers, there are added abilities that you are able to unlock. So one big gripe that I know a lot of businesses have with Instagram is that you can't direct link in their posts. So you can't specifically like post a picture of a product or a service and then post directly to a to that product to buy it on your website. Well, you can through Instagram Stories if you have if you reach that threshold of 10,000 followers. So that affords you the ability. All you have to do is literally you say to the people, swipe up, and then it direct links to your website or to a shopping cart or to what have you, or specific web pages if you want to like link to an article or something like that. So that's an awesome feature. It is something that businesses have been begging Instagram for years, is that ability to direct link to like shopping carts or to brands or to specific pages. And it has not had any ability to do that until recently, until through Instagram Stories. So that is fantastic for businesses because it takes that element of question out, because you can actually track that traffic and gauge what your ROI is for that social media push. So that's pretty neat. and you can even do polls if that's something you're interested in. Say that you're a brand and you're wondering if and you want to get, engage with people, and say you're only coming out with one new color. You can say, do you like gray or blue? Yes, no. Like, and so they can actually vote and tell you which color they think would work better, or that they would rather see. So that's another fun way to engage with your followers and your viewers, and work with them through that. All right, moving on. Number 6, it's a new way to work with Instagram influencers. So as we went over a little bit earlier, influencers are personalities or people on social media, or on Instagram, that have a high number of followers. So what you can do through Instagram stories is actually give those influencers control over your Instagram account for the day, and they can post stories throughout the day. So it can be like a day in the life of, let's see here, I don't know, Cynthia Wright at Carriage Trade Public Relations. And so she can post through our Instagram account stories, and like walk people through like what a day in the life of a publicist look like. Or she can, if we're getting ready for a big event, she can do something like that. Or, that's just a local personality. Like, say that you have, your brand has, larger connections. You can, talk to people about posting for you at like larger national events that they're attending, or, so on and so forth. It's a great way to allow people to, take advantage of not only your brand's audience, but also the influencer's audience, and kind of meld those two together and take advantage of the full reach that you guys can have. So that's pretty neat. And what it also does is it can expand your brand's reach, and it can, because you'll probably gain some new followers out of those those influencers followers, because once they get there and catch their enthusiasm for your brand or for your service, they'll be a lot more likely to follow you as well. So that's a great way to engage with more people. So, and then number 7 is that you can boost your organic reach on Instagram by using stories. While there's not a ton of solid research that connects the use of Instagram stories to, increase followers, there is a lot of research out there that shows that if you are really active with your account, and if you're really active with your stories, you are going to show up higher for certain hashtags. Like, say that you're a business in Savannah who really wants to target foodies. So you can, do like hashtag Savannah, hashtag foodies, hashtag restaurants in Savannah, hashtag, the world is your oyster. And so what's nice about that is that the more active that you are with those hashtags and with those posts, the higher that you will show up in the searches for those hashtags, because you're shown as an active user, and so you'll get boosted up higher in their algorithm. So again, it's being consistent and active with your Instagram is only going to benefit you in the long run. It's just going to continue to show people that you're really interested in engaging with them on an organic level, and that you're wanting to not let them see what a real day in the life of your business is, and not necessarily just what the curated version of it is. They want you to know what it's really like, and so stories really can help you stand out from that, the Instagram noise, if you will. The photo stream can get a little bit oversaturated, but stories, people really like to stay and they watch all of your content, because it's compelling, because they can go from one segment to the next, and they want to know how it ends, or what you have to say, and go from there. So I hope that you have found this interesting and relevant. And if anyone has any additional questions, please post, engage, and let us know. And we would be happy to go into more detail with you guys and answer anything else that I might not have touched on. We will be hosting about the new article for June and the next live stream shortly. And yeah, I hope everyone has a wonderful Wednesday and a great rest of your week. And I'll see you guys later. Have a good one.